Okay. Welcome to the H. Thomas Guerry Awards for Superior Performance and for Valor. I'm Bob Hart with the Santa Barbara Citizens Council on Crime. I'd like to welcome you all. We'd like to start with having our honor guard come in and present the colors. Hopefully they're ready to roll. In just a moment, we'll have the honor guard come in and present the colors. And if you could all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Thank you. And this year's recipients will be filing in to take their seats up on the dais, so you can sit and watch them the whole presentation and see if you can get them to laugh or anything. Again, welcome. On behalf of the Santa Barbara Citizens Council on Crime, we're very happy to be able to honor our heroes in the local law enforcement community from throughout Santa Barbara County. Before we begin, though, I just wanted to say thank you to 3 members of the City Council of the City of Santa Barbara who are present: Kristen Snedden, Oscar Gutierrez, and the Mayor, Randy Rouse. Thanks for being here. All right, so we'll get things going. So let's start with our Superior Performance Awards. So if we could have coming to the podium, please, Sheriff Bill Brown, along with Sergeant Matthew Delgado and Senior Deputy Dustin Weinbrenner.
Well, thank you, Bob. Before I introduce you to our 2 recipients tonight and tell you what they did to earn this award, I just want to do 2 things. First of all, I want to thank and recognize Thomas Guerry's widow for being here once again. I've said this many times, but it bears repeating that through these awards, Tom lives on, and in a way that humbles those of us who have come in his footsteps. And I also want to thank Bob and all the members of the Citizens Council on Crime for your continued support of this awards program, this tradition that is highly, highly respected and highly appreciated by the recipients of these different awards. Today we have 2 recipients of this award for a single incident. The first is Sheriff's Deputy Dustin Weinbrenner. Dustin was born in Waterloo, Indiana. Following high school, he enlisted into the United States Army, and he became an airborne ranger. He served tours of duty in both Iraq and Afghanistan, earning several awards and medals, including the Ranger Tab, the Air Medal, the Afghanistan and Iraq Campaign Medals, the Combat Infantry Badge, and the Joint Meritorious Unit Award. Dustin was hired by the Sheriff's Office in 2013 as a custody deputy, and he was assigned to the Santa Barbara Main Jail. In 2016, he was appointed as a Sheriff's Deputy after completing the Allen Hancock College Law Enforcement Academy, where he was awarded the Leo Ortega Most Inspirational Award. Dustin has held several patrol assignments in Central Stations and Santa Maria Stations. He's also held collateral duty assignments as a field training officer, as a member of our recruiting team, and as a member of the Sheriff's Mobile Field Force. Matthew Delgado, Sheriff's Sergeant, was born and raised in Santa Maria. He comes from a law enforcement family, his mother Nancy having served as a San Diego Sheriff's Deputy and later as a forensic unit assistant and property officer with our agency, where she met and married Matt's stepfather, Steve Robel, who served our agency as a sheriff's commander. Matt was hired by the Sheriff's Office as a Sheriff's Deputy in 2008. Since then, he has worked a wide variety of assignments, including patrol, custody, training officer, coordinator, and compliance response team. Matt has also held collateral assignments with the Explorer program and the Sheriff's Major Accident Response Team, SMART. He's currently assigned as a team leader with our agency's Special Enforcement Team, our SWAT team. He is a previous recipient of the Sheriff's Unit Citation and the Sheriff's Thomas Fire and 1-9 Debris Flow Commendation Bar. In 2022, Matt was promoted to Sheriff Sergeant, and he was assigned to the North County Operations Division, Northern Stations. Sheriff's Deputy Weinbrenner and Sheriff Sergeant Delgado received this award for an incident that occurred on October 13th, 2023. Both of them were on patrol in Santa Maria when dispatch advised them via radio of a possible drunk driver who had almost caused a collision and had parked in front of a liquor store in a red Ford Mustang. Deputy Weinbrenner and Sergeant Delgado arrived at the location, and they found the driver sitting in his car, talking on his cell phone, with the driver's door partially open. Deputy Weinbrenner approached the driver and observed an open container of alcohol in the center console. He asked the man to step out of the car, but the man ignored the order, stating he was on the phone. Deputy Weinbrenner repeated the command, and the man placed one foot out of the car, but began reaching around on the passenger side of the vehicle. Calmly, Deputy Weinbrenner told the man to stop reaching in the car, but the man had retrieved a large steak knife, and he was beginning to get out of the car with it. Deputy Weinbrenner relayed to Sergeant Delgado that the man was armed with a knife, and both deputies drew their duty weapons. The man was holding his cell phone in one hand and the knife in the other. Deputy Weinbrenner repeatedly tried to de-escalate the situation by repeatedly telling the man to drop the knife, but he would not comply. With Deputy Weinbrenner providing cover, Sergeant Delgado then transitioned from his firearm to his taser. He discharged his taser at the man, but the darts didn't both hit him, and it proved to be ineffective. The man then ran around the front of his car, still holding the knife, and fled. Deputy Weinbrenner and Sergeant Delgado pursued the man on foot, who by now had run into the roadway, causing cars to swerve around him. Sergeant Delgado ran back to his patrol car and retrieved a less lethal beanbag launcher, and then returned to where Deputy Weinbrenner had cornered the man, who was now yelling profanities at them and asking the deputies to, quote, "just gun me down." Deputy Weinbrenner and Sergeant Delgado attempted several more verbal de-escalation techniques, but were unsuccessful in calming the man down. When the man made several lunges in their direction with the knife, Sergeant Delgado utilized the less lethal launcher and fired 6 beanbag rounds at the man. Finally, the man sat down, placed the knife on the ground next to him, but he was still hovering his hand over it. With Sergeant Delgado providing cover, Deputy Weinbrenner saw an opportunity to rush the man. He was able to knock him to the ground. He then placed handcuffs on him and took him into custody. Throughout this contact with this intoxicated and aggressive man, Sergeant Delgado and Deputy Weinbrenner remained calm and used excellent communication skills with each other to handle what could have easily been a justified deadly use of force. Instead, they were able to resolve the matter without any injuries to the driver, to any member of the community, or to themselves. Their reverence for human life, their ability to read the situation as it unfolded, and their action in unison as a team resulted in the safe apprehension of a person who had potential to cause great harm to them or to others. Their efforts during this interaction are commendable, and it is with great pleasure that on behalf of the Citizens Council on Crime, I present both Deputy Dustin Weinbrenner and Sergeant Matthew Delgado with the 2024 H. Thomas Guerry Award for Superior Performance. Congratulations, gentlemen. Photos here. Thank you, Bob.
Congratulations on a job well done. So you might be wondering what we're handing them. One is a plaque. It's pretty obvious but we also have that blue folder is from the Board of Supervisors, giving recognition to all of our recipients this year also. And then a very important piece is a uniform ribbon that they wear right below their badge that will show the rest of their career that they are a winner of this award. And I've got to tell you, it means a lot to these folks when they're booking someone in the jail and someone from another agency sees that and says, what'd you get that one for? What year? And things, and they start having this camaraderie with past award recipients. So it means a lot to have those on their uniform. So that's what they're receiving this evening. So moving right along, I'd like to invite up from the Lompoc Police Department, Chief Kevin Martin and Sergeant Vincent Magallon.
Good evening. Sergeant Magallon has a 22-year tenure at the Lompoc Police Department, beginning his career as an intern before ascending through the ranks. His journey has seen him undertake various roles, from a police officer trainee to a patrol officer, and further specializing as a domestic violence gang detective. His exemplary performance and leadership skills led to his promotion to corporal. From here, Corporal Magallon rose to the rank of sergeant, eventually taking on the role of detective sergeant within the investigations unit. In addition to his investigative duties, Sergeant Magallon plays a critical role in the department SWAT team as a tactical team commander, showcasing his diverse skills and dedication to law enforcement. In law enforcement, leadership is not merely about rank or authority, but about the impact on one's team, the community, and the broader justice spectrum. Sergeant Vincent Magallon, serving as the detective sergeant for the past 4 years, embodies such leadership. His journey, marked by professionalism, innovative problem solving, and an unwavering commitment to service, highlights the essence of effective law enforcement leadership in the face of evolving challenges. Upon assuming his role as detective sergeant, Sergeant Magallon inherited several open homicide investigations and faced a significant rotation of detectives. Despite these challenges, his professionalism and work ethic never wavered. His calm and organized approach advanced these investigations and instilled a sense of peace and confidence amongst his team. Sergeant Magion's leadership style, characterized by quiet confidence and strategic planning, exemplifies effectiveness and resilience. Sergeant Magion's willingness to extend support beyond his department underscores his commitment to the broader mission of law enforcement. His collaborative efforts, especially when introducing NIBIN bullet casing testing and tracking within the department, demonstrate his innovative crime-solving approach. This initiative enhanced the department's investigative capabilities and set a precedent to interdepartmental cooperation in tackling crime. The increase of violent crimes, including homicides involving juveniles, presents a significant challenge, further compounded by lenient laws restricting law enforcement's interaction with juveniles. Sergeant Magion's adaptability and innovative thinking led to the transformation of his staff's approach to these investigations. His strategies in navigating legal constraints and leveraging technology for evidence gathering have been instrumental in solving numerous crimes, showcasing his exceptional problem-solving skills. Beyond his investigative achievements, Sergeant Magion's dedication to mentorship has been pivotal in developing future leaders within the department. His influence extends beyond immediate case outcomes, shaping upcoming officers' professional growth and ethical grounding. This legacy of leadership development is perhaps one of his most significant contributions. The 2024 Lompoc Police Department H. Thomas Guerry Award for Superior Performance is a testament to Sergeant Vincent Magion's exceptional service, leadership, and commitment to law enforcement. His journey reflects our core values: quality, service, integrity, compassion, and pride. Thank you, Vinny.
Thank you. We will move on to the Santa Maria Police Department. So if I can call forward Commander Jesse Silva, along with Corporal Stephen Best.
First of all, I want to thank everybody for being here this afternoon. It's a great honor for us and the police department to be able to recognize one of our own. Thank you to the Citizen Council on Crime as well for allowing us to share this moment. So Corporal Steve Best is a 30-plus year law enforcement veteran with over 27 years spent with the Santa Maria Police Department. Corporal Best is one of the department's senior personnel, and his entire law enforcement career has been characterized by his superior performance. He has excelled throughout all phases of his career. However, his most significant contribution have been in the arena of high-tech crime investigation. Corporal Best's work speaks for itself as he works quietly and tirelessly behind the scenes on cases ranging from misdemeanor to felony investigations. Although Corporal Best might not be in the limelight when a major investigation is unraveled, he continually plays a significant role in the solvability of these cases. The High-Tech Crimes Unit investigation team received 625 electronic evidence processing requests in 2023, with almost half of them being video surveillance retrieval and processing. Daily, Corporal Best's supervisor has watched him immediately drop all work that he's doing to rush out to a local business or a residence and capture time-sensitive and crucial crime video and surveillance. Corporal Best does this without raising an eyebrow or complaining a single word. If Corporal Best's overflowing workload of video surveillance retrieval and cellular phone downloading wasn't enough, he also took on the role of training and mentoring the department's first civilian digital forensic examiner. Additionally, Corporal Best has been almost solely responsible for the communication and coordination with the engineers and programmers for the Flock license plate reader system in the city of Santa Maria. Corporal Best routinely communicates with them regarding maintenance of downed problems or problematic cameras, as well as providing input on camera placement and their fields of view to the engineers. The flock system has provided crucial investigative leads since its inception and would not have been entirely possible without Corporal Best. Corporal Best's work ethic demonstrates his commitment to serving the department and public with excellence. He represents the Santa Maria Police Department in a positive and professional manner and always takes pride in his work. And for this, we are proud to nominate Corporal Steve Best for the H. Thomas Guerry Award for Superior Performance.
I just think it's really cool that the award winner's name is Best, you know? It's just a way to go. By the way, I heard over 30 years, so he might be thinking about retirement, but you need to try to beat Butch Arnaldi, who's in the back here, who has gone over 50 years with the Sheriff's Department. What's your name? So the commander agrees that they would like to have him stay on for 50 years. So hopefully he'll do that. At this time, we'll go to the Santa Barbara County Probation Office and have Deputy Chief Probation Officer Spencer Cross and Senior Deputy Probation Officer John Vitone. Please come forward.
Thank you. I, too, am honored to be here to celebrate this distinguished group of dedicated law enforcement professionals. I would like to express gratitude to the Santa Barbara Citizens Council on Crime for their ongoing support of this award, as well as the Guerry family for providing this opportunity to acknowledge the acts of valor and superior performance of all of these individuals. Today, I'm here to acknowledge the superior performance of Senior Deputy Probation Officer John Vitone. Officer Vitone began his career with the Santa Barbara County Probation Department at the Santa Barbara Juvenile Hall in 2008 as a juvenile institutions officer. He was then transferred to the Los Prietos Boys Camp, and it did not take long before he was able to move up the ranks and promoted to Senior Juvenile Institution Officer in 2012. And then again in 2023, he was promoted to Senior Deputy Probation Officer. So on a personal note, I've had the opportunity to work with Mr. John Vitone in 2009 to 2013 when I was also stationed at the Los Prietos Boys Camp. So while working along his side, I was able to observe Officer Vitone's commitment, creativity, and compassion for the youth under his supervision. So it came as no surprise when he was selected to receive the recognition for superior performance, specifically this year for humanitarian service. A service of this designation is given to someone who has demonstrated a selfless act to help others in times of need. These types of actions go above and beyond their regular duties to serve humanity, embodying the spirit of altruism and service. With that, let me take you back to the the early morning of December 21st, 2023. Officer Vitone was on his way to work along the Highway 154 from the Goleta Valley. On this particular day, it was raining, but it was not your normal everyday rain. If you Google December 21st, 2023, the first story that will come up will talk about the torrential rain that we were having that evening, the night before. Despite the conditions, Officer Vitone proceeded to work through the heavy downpour. When he received a call from a staff assigned to the camp who advised she had just been in an accident on this same very road. Upon arrival, the staff's vehicle was completely engulfed in flames. He approached the scene cautiously and was able to contact the staff who was complaining to pain of her chest, back, and legs. He performed an initial assessment of the scene, and while he was doing so, the other vehicle caught on fire. Worried that the intense heat and flames from the vehicles could create additional hazards or a potential explosion, Officer Vitone calmly took control of the situation, ensured the drivers to safety, and escorted them off the roadway. While waiting for emergency fire services, Officer Fatone took a position in the roadway to control traffic to prevent further accidents from occurring. Officer Vatone's quick actions in response to the scene on December 21st ensured the safety of those involved in the accident, as well as every other citizen who was approaching the scene in this pouring rain. This is one incident of many scenarios where Officer Fatone has gone above and beyond for the service of others. This last year, he was selected by his peers to be the Officer of the Year. And it's this service to the department that makes us proud to honor him for his service to the department, the community, and the fellow citizens of Santa Barbara. He is very deserving of this prestigious H. Thomas Guerry Award for superior performance. Congratulations.
Next, if we could have come forward from the Buellton office of the California Highway Patrol, Lieutenant Jason Bronson and Officer Toby Hall.
Good afternoon. Thank you all. Thank you, Citizens Council on Crime, as well as County and City of Santa Barbara for providing us this opportunity to recognize our men and women who, if asked, will probably tell all of us that they're just going out to do their job. Well, those men and women are being recognized today because just doing their job is above and beyond what anybody could expect of them. To speak to that, it is with great pleasure that I present the 2024 award to Buellton Area CHP Officer Toby Hall, a 21-year veteran of the California Highway Patrol and working with the Buellton CHP area since 2007. Officer Hall routinely leads his peers in enforcement contacts as well as public services, but he'll just tell you that he's just coming in to do his job. Specifically, last year, one of Buellton's flagship investigations was initiated by Officer Hall out of a routine traffic stop. And rather than this individual continuing on down the road with a traffic citation from the CHP, an additional question, further investigation from Officer Hall based on his observations resulted in recovery of a pound of fentanyl, as well as indicia of sales and transportation, and the arrest of that individual. His investigation transitioned that to a federal investigation, but recovered additional 2 pounds of fentanyl, money, and a loaded firearm from that individual, leading to those additional charges, removing a dangerous substance and dangerous individual from our communities. Officer Hall, your work is outstanding, and it is a pleasure to present you with the Superior Performance Award for 2024.
And to continue with the Highway Patrol, if we could have from the Santa Barbara office, Lieutenant Elena Damara and Ronald Hensick, please come forward.
Good afternoon, everyone. Please let me introduce our awardee, Officer Ron Hensick, for the 2023 H. Thomas Guerry Superior Performance Award. I would also like to publicly recognize and thank Ron's wife, Heidi, and his 2 children, Ron and Hannah. Their love and support are instrumental to Ron's success. Officer Hensick graduated from the CHP Academy in February of 2013 and reported to the Ventura area in December 2014. Officer Hensick voluntarily transferred to the Santa Barbara area. He currently works the night shift road patrol and is responsible for the freeway and unincorporated roadways between Carpinteria and Gaviota State Beach. During his 11-year career, he has assumed numerous duties such as field training officer, officer in charge, drug recognition expert, Critical Incident Response Team member, and detective associate. As a field training officer, Officer Hensick trains new officers that are assigned to the area after graduating the CHP Academy. Officer Hensick focuses his training on impaired driving, crashes, and other complex investigations. He has trained many officers in the Santa Barbara area and provides them with the foundational skills to succeed in a very demanding but rewarding profession. As an officer in charge, the command staff recognizes him as a trusted and invaluable member of our supervisorial team. In addition to the day-to-day administrative requirements of the field supervisor, Officer Hensick has supervised numerous critical and high-stress incidents, such as medical emergencies, complex crashes and investigations, responses to severe weather, natural disaster events, pursuits, uses of force, and civil disturbances. During these incidents, he has displayed sound professional judgment and constantly manages the risks to public safety. As a member of the Critical Incident Response Team and Detective Associate Program, he responds to fatal crashes and assists in the investigation of other complex cases and incidents. When he is not training, supervising the shift, or working a complex investigation, he proactively and skillfully works patrol to remove impaired drivers. He conducts drug recognition evaluation on drivers presumed to be under the influence of controlled substances. He has personally removed hundreds of impaired drivers since his arrival in Santa Barbara. Officer Hensick has constantly earned the Mothers Against Drunk Drivers Annual 23152 Award for his distinguished service. In January of 2023, the Santa Barbara area sustained severe weather, causing multiple flooded roadways. Knowing the storm was approaching and preparing for the long workdays ahead, Officer Hensick took it upon himself to reserve a hotel room near the CHP office. Officer Hensick worked countless hours, responded to multiple calls for service, directed traffic, and monitored several road closures. Being a true leader, Officer Hensick maintained a positive attitude, put his wet uniform on every day, and strived to provide the highest level of safety, service, and security to the community. In April of 2023, Officer Hensick was dispatched to a major crash involving a vehicle with multiple fatalities. Officer Hensick performed an extensive and thorough investigation. He worked side by side with the Santa Barbara County District Attorney's Office and the Santa Barbara County Victim Advocate's Office. The investigation required Officer Hensick to conduct follow-up in Southern California, interview approximately 25 witnesses, draft multiple warrants, and compose an in-depth report of the incident. Officer Hensick spent countless hours investigating the incident and away from his family. These are just a couple examples of how Officer Hensick represents himself and the CHP in the highest regard. Officer Hensick is dedicated to the mission of the CHP to provide the highest level of safety, service, and security. Over the years, Officer Hensick's professionalism, sound judgment, and willingness to help others has earned him the respect and admiration of coworkers and friends. Officer Hensick maintains a calm, cool, positive attitude. He is a team player and established leader among his peers. Officer Hensick's unwavering commitment to the CHP's mission and his selfless service to the public is a true testament of his character. It goes without saying, his community dedication and service to the Santa Barbara community has saved countless lives. Officer Hensick has consistently shown that his work ethic is above reproach. That was no exception in 2023. His work ethic and competency make him a valuable asset not only to Santa Barbara CHP, but to the community as well.
I just have to add a little bit, something here about Ron, and that is, he was the recipient last year also. I mean, that is really something to go back to back 2 years in a row, because if you think about that, the chiefs are going to say, no, we need to spread this around a little bit. But when you're that good to get it 2 years in a row, that's really making a statement. So I said to him, I said, where's your ribbon on your uniform? Because I could have shown you what it looks like. And you know what he said? He says, I didn't want to brag. All right, so if we could have our H. Thomas Guerry Award for Valor, so Chief Kellyanne Gordon and Officer Sean Zocino, please come forward.
There he is. Can't do it without him up here, right? First, I'm going to start by appreciating his smile because he's always got a positive attitude. So I'm going to start with that. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for being here. First, I want to start by echoing the same thoughts. We really appreciate the time and effort that goes into this award, the Santa Barbara Citizens Council on Crime. This award has what I would consider a special meeting within our department. Detective Guerry was killed in the line of duty in 1970 in the city of Santa Barbara. So this award and what it means to our recipients and the honor that goes with it is extremely important to all of us. So I just want to say thank you again, and we really appreciate that. And I also want to thank you and congratulations to all the other recipients. This is a difficult job. We don't always get recognized, but when we do, it's really important. And see, look, she's waving at you. You get to wave. She wants to come up here with you. She's got her arms wide open. So this is Officer Sean Zocino, who grew up in Oxnard. He joined the Santa Paula Police Department in 2019, and he made a great decision in 2022 to come join the Santa Barbara Police Department. He currently works patrol. He works the night shift usually. Serves our community members a lot of the time on the east side. He's been a member of our SWAT team for a year now, which I want to recognize as quite an accomplishment no matter how much time you have on because of the dedication and the training that takes. But, you know, he doesn't have as much time on and already shows what dedication he has and what he has to give this department in terms of already serving as a member of our SWAT team. His girlfriend is hiding in the back with her little one, Kaylani, and he's got 2 daughters. Yes, our year-old one, last time I saw her, she wasn't even present quite yet. And I think his other daughter is hiding. Yeah. She's hiding around the corner. So I want to take you back to an incident that occurred on November 18th, 2023. Sean was working patrol on swing shift. He responded to a report of a robbery with a knife at one of our local liquor stores. He was first to arrive on scene and observed the suspect walking on the Amtrak train platform, which, as you know, has a number of different dangers that go with it. When he confronted the suspect was still holding the knife. And the suspect actually began walking towards Sean, not retreating, not running from Sean, but actually coming towards him with his knife still in his hand, refusing to listen to the commands to drop the weapon. Officer Zocino tactically repositioned himself to maintain a safe distance from the suspect, trying to wait till other officers arrived. He used good safety tactics, excellent radio and transmissions to direct responding units. We've all heard in law enforcement, when an officer gets excited, you know something's going on. He maintained his calm and allowed dispatch to get him the help that he needed. He was able to follow and monitor the suspect as the suspect walked away towards another open business. Once an additional officer arrived, providing additional coverage, Officer Zocino used good judgment in a very tense and dangerous situation and transitioned to his non-lethal option of the taser. Officer Zocino, who intentionally placed himself in a position of greater risk, knew it would allow for potential de-escalation, gave additional commands to the suspect to stop or that he would be tased. Still holding the knife, the suspect refused to comply. Officer Zocino, from a close proximity, successfully tased the suspect, causing the suspect to drop the knife and fall to the ground. He was then taken into custody without further incident. Officer Zocino used excellent restraint, officer safety, tactics, the appropriate amount of force to apprehend a very dangerous and violent criminal who continuously brandished a knife at him. But that wasn't enough for one day. Later that same evening, Sean responded to a burglary alarm call at a local business. Again, first on scene, he located the burglary suspect who was exiting the business. The suspect had attempted to flee, but physically fit, SWAT officer, all in a good day's work, was able to take him into custody. But even after he took him into custody, the suspect resisted and continued to fight Sean. He was able to overcome the resistance and maintain control of the suspect until a backup officer arrived on scene to assist with taking him into custody. So Officer Zosimo's actions in this one shift, mind you, this wasn't over multiple days, this was all in one night, further demonstrate his outstanding daily performance, but also his reverence for the sanctity of human life and responding to high-stress, potentially dangerous encounters. So with that, I want to congratulate him on his being the recipient of the Medal of Valor for this year, for 2023, for the H. Thomas Guerry Awards. That's a lot to say in one sentence, right?
We've had a number of people thank us for what we've been doing. I need to thank the rest of my committee. So I've got Daryl Scari, who's the one that helps get everything organized on the people coming in. Jane Grand up here front with me. Jane was Tom Guerry's widow and has been here religiously attending these events year after year and has been a member of our committee for maybe 20 years now, something like that. So we're very happy to have them. I also want to thank the county staff that lets us use their room and coordinates all this, the broadcast staff that's putting this out on air for us. If you haven't looked on your program, you'll see that this is being rebroadcast tomorrow at noon and then Saturday at 7 p.m. on cable channel 20. It's also on the county's YouTube channel, and I believe you can pick it up off the county website also. So if you have other family members who want to see it, it can be picked up off the internet and you have the ability to show that to them. One thing that I pick up every year when we do this is I talk to the recipients and we talk about, what was it that happened? Why are you here? It says, it was just another day on patrol. I mean, that's their attitude. It says, I'm just doing my job. But boy, did they do it well. So I'd like to thank them one more time for everything they do. And thank you to the families for your support so they can be out there protecting all of us in the community. Thank you all for being here and have a good evening.